87, 22 minutes. Siding The Verge. Bishop Ford, 39 minutes, 80.94. And that's traffic. I'm Chip Calamonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. From our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, we see sunny conditions throughout the day. High 66. Currently 49. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee, period.
Another song that will not be at Glenbrook South's homecoming, so you can enjoy it on our show.
Sounds crazy.
Will more stay in the time? Would they be allowed to perform?
Oh, that's right.
I don't know. Anything jungle or animal related, I assume, is just
yeah.
unsafe at Glenbrook South High School for homecoming. All right, back to impeachment drama. Joe DiGenova was on with Lou Dobbs to talk a little bit about how, and Andy McCarthy has written about this in National Review as well, this is not a serious impeachment inquiry until there's a formal House vote to initiate an impeachment inquiry. And Joe DiGenova, former U.S. Attorney in D.C., explains why.
Well, it's quite obvious what the Democrats are doing. They have not had a vote on the floor of the House to start a formal impeachment inquiry, because if they were to have such a vote, under the House rules for impeachment, the Republicans would get subpoena power. So in order to avoid giving the Republicans subpoena power, they're doing this impeachment light with these 6 different committees who are claiming it's an impeachment inquiry, and they're trying to subpoena people and get documents without having an impeachment vote on the floor. Right. That is why the White House said, we're not going to cooperate with this kangaroo court.
And is the White House position the sensible one?
The White House position, I think, is very well founded based on the history of impeachment proceedings of presidents, not judges. Impeachment proceedings of judges are irrelevant. In terms of impeachment proceedings of presidents, always there's been a vote on the floor of the House, and the minority has been given subpoena power.
And aren't there a lot of Democrats, too, though, in Trump districts that are afraid of, going on the record with this impeachment because they might lose their jobs? Is that another reason why the House isn't dragging their heels on this?
Well, I mean, it could be a reason in certain races, certain target races, but additionally, the Democrats don't know what they don't know, and they don't know what's coming in that Durham report that will include some review of Ukraine vis-a-vis 2016. And so if I was Nancy Pelosi being forced into moving forward with this impeachment inquiry, impeachment light style, as Joe DiGenova described, then I'd be trying to hedge my bets, too, about what else may be forthcoming with the sundry characters that have been involved in foreign escapades in my camp. So I'd be trying to step gingerly as well. And also, too, you have pronouncements, very confident pronouncements from Mitch McConnell. This, of course, in advance of the September 30th fundraising deadline for third quarter reporting. But McConnell had a message to his constituents back in Kentucky.
Nancy Pelosi's in the clutches of a left-wing mob. They finally convinced her to impeach the president. All of you know your Constitution. The way that impeachment stops is when the Senate majority, with me as majority leader. But I need your help. Please contribute before the deadline.
Yeah.
Get on that. Start contributing.
Well, but fine. It's a fundraising appeal, no question. And it's not like the other side is beneath doing such things in the context of impeachment, leveraging impeachment for cash. But McConnell makes it clear, the message still was clear. How does impeachment stop? It stops with me if it comes to the Senate.
Right. And other people were worried about certain Republicans, Ben Sass, Mitt Romney. And here's Senator Susan Collins.
I would be acting as a juror, as I did in the Clinton impeachment trial. So I don't want to prejudge the evidence. Plus, not all the evidence is in yet.
Indeed.
I thought that was a measured response.
Yeah, it is. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Bradley Blakeman. He's a political consultant, GOP media consultant, was a member of George W. Bush's senior White House staff. Bradley, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So the assessment by McCarthy and DiGenova, and others that until you have this floor vote on the House to formally authorize the impeachment inquiry, then we're not. That's not real. It's not a real impeachment inquiry. Number one. Number two, the White House is right to go on offense and suggest that they're not going to cooperate until the subpoena power has been equalized, if you will.
Absolutely. If you're going to take the nuclear option on the president and have him removed almost a year to the day of a presidential election, taking it out of the hands of the citizens, then you better have the procedure and the grounds and let the president confront his witnesses and be real about it. This is an extraordinary attempt to get rid of a president. And let's remember, let's use some common sense. After the Mueller report came out, there were crickets from the Democrats for months. And then before their summer recess, they said, we have enough probable cause from the Mueller report to impeach the president. Then what did they do? They took the summer off. After they told us how dangerous it is every day the president sits in the Oval Office. And now, with the Ukrainian call, they say, aha, forget Mueller. Now let's just focus on this call. He's so dangerous. He must be removed. And guess what? They just took 2 weeks off.
Right.
This is ridiculous. They fix the rules to their own liking, and they think the American people are going to buy it. But you can't hate a president out of office. You have to vote him out of office. And the best way to get rid of Donald Trump, if at all, is beat him at the ballot box.
It really is like a scene from Naked Gun. We're not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. We're not going to take one breath until we catch that killer. Now let's get some lunch. That's. I mean, it's all like pronouncements, and then this is just politics. We're just positioning for 2020.
Right, and again, I think the American people are the best jury. They seem to do a good job on their own, but it's an ordinary step of removing a president. Then you better do it properly. You better do it with transparency and fairness. They've already prejudged this president. They sought to impeach him the day he was elected. So this is just an end to a means for them. The end is to get rid of Trump, and the means is to use the Constitution as a sword to impale Trump instead of a shield to protect the people.
And now we have the second whistleblower coming forward, a person who they claim has firsthand knowledge of the infamous phone call. He has the same attorney as the first whistleblower. It doesn't seem to matter, though, because we saw the transcript. We read the transcript of that phone call.
Well, this is right out of the Kavanaugh playbook.
Mm-hmm.
First, they put out the first person and see the traction that gets. And then they put out the second person. And guess what? There may be a third or fourth person. This is their playbook. It didn't work with Kavanaugh. It's not going to work with Trump. And the bottom line is, as DeGeneres has said to us, the best evidence is the transcript itself. The transcript itself does not even suggest that the president committed a high crime or misdemeanor, number one. Number two is the best evidence is from the people who were the principals to the call, the president of the United States and the president of the Ukraine. The president of the United States says that he did not intend a quid pro quo. The transcript backs him up, corroborates that. And then the president of Ukraine says, I didn't feel threatened. I didn't believe there was a quid pro quo at all. So you have the principals to the call telling you what their intent is. You've got the transcript. It doesn't matter what a third person says.
Well, in addition to that, you have in addition to that, you have the report that the Ukrainian president, the Ukrainian leadership, didn't realize that the military aid was being withheld until a month after the call. They didn't even realize that the supposed quid pro quo was going on. So how could you feel pressure? How could there be a quid pro quo when they don't know about the quo?
Right, exactly. So the best evidence is the transcript, the statements by the principals to the call. Doesn't matter what a third person says. And by the way, if you're a whistleblower title has to be earned, by the way. Just calling yourself a whistleblower doesn't make you a whistleblower. And I would say at this point he's an informant at best. I call him a leaker. But the bottom line is this guy went to Schiff's people before he went to the IG. You mean to tell me this guy is sophisticated enough in his own agency not to know who to go to? Everybody knows about an IG in every department. But instead, he goes to the branch to the president's main political rival and tells his staff about it before the complaint is even filed in his own agency.
And so going back to the multiple whistleblower complaints now, the second one, or the attorneys telling multiple whistleblowers, there may be more, as you said. So is this a case, you think, where they're trying to remedy the lack of substance with volume, and this gives cover for the impeachment vote more than it does any probative value for the case?
Of course, and this is the same tack they used with Kavanaugh. They rolled out their witnesses. One was just as bad as the other. And, they play way too cute. The American people are way smarter than that. They see through it. So what if there's 10 whistleblowers, quote unquote? Big deal. Third parties have absolutely, in my opinion, little to no value at all. And by the way, just because you have clearance, and top secret clearance at that, it doesn't mean that you're approved to get this information. Perhaps this person wasn't even entitled to receive this information, and that's why they're rolling out another person. And when did that person come to file this complaint?
Right.
Was it after this person? Was it contemporaneous with the call? Come on.
As somebody who's inside the Beltway in Republican Party ranks, there's been a lot of talk about if it was an anonymous vote in the Senate, you'd have 20, you'd have 30 Republican senators vote to remove him from office. There's a good deal of Trump fatigue among Republican senators. It didn't seem that way with Ron Johnson on Meet the Press yesterday, and frankly, with the exception really of Mitt Romney, it doesn't seem that way even with some of Trump's detractors. I mean, Marco Rubio sort of gave the back of the hand to his China comments, suggesting he wasn't serious. Rubio, no great defender of President Trump. So outside of Romney, do you see any serious concern, much less defection from Trump as it pertains to this matter?
No, not at all. Based on the evidence we know now that's before us, the transcript, the statements of the presidents, the principles to the call, the whistleblower and how he or she went about making the complaint. No, I have no fear at all. If the Democrats are hell-bent on impeaching the president, he will not be removed. I believe it helps this president because I think the American people see that this truly is a witch hunt to remove somebody that they wanted to remove from day one. And I don't see Republicans going south at all on this president.
Right,
Not
but do you
at
think
all, because there's no basis.
Right, but do you think attacking Mitt Romney is a good strategy?
No, I don't. And I think Mitt Romney is seeking attention. He wants to be the lone wolf, and let him be it. But no, it's not. You don't get any traction attacking somebody who's absolutely no threat to you. You have no serious primary challenge. So what? He's a gadfly at best.
He is Bradley Blakeman, political consultant, GOP media consultant, former member of George W. Bush's senior White House staff. Bradley, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Take care.
Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Now that fall is here, how's your fireplace and chimney? Before you light the first fire, have your chimney cleaned and inspected by